Welcome to another episode of the Free2P Gamer. In this episode I'll be reviewing TERA. TERA's catchphrase is true action combat, and the game lives up to it well. TERA's combat plays like a third-person action game. Whether you hit your target, dodge an attack, live or die, depends as much or more on your own skill as it does the quality of your gear, which makes for an engaging gameplay experience that is made even better by the fact that each of the 8 classes have their own unique playstyle. There are 7 races to choose from in TERA: the demonish Imani, the giant Baraka, the devilish Kastanik, the childish Elin, the noble High Elves, the adventurous humans, and the small animal-esque Potpourri. As I said before, there are 8 classes in the game: the Archer, high mobility range DPS, the Berserker, slow-moving but devastatingly powerful melee DPS, the Lancer, your standard tank class with large shield and even larger lance, the Mystic, a caster support class, the Priest, your typical healer, the Slayer, a light armored melee DPS with a great sword and numerous abilities to incapacitate enemies, the Sorcerer, caster DPS whose very embodiment of the term glass cannon, and the Warrior, the only hybrid class in the game, capable of both melee DPS and tanking. They rely on quick sword attacks and high mobility. Although the combat in TERA is top-notch, the rest of the game feels average at best. Questing is just plain dull, consisting almost entirely of kill X number of enemies style objectives. Without some variety, or at least a decent storyline to pull you along, questing in TERA quickly becomes a boring grind fest. The crafting system doesn't fare any better and is borderline tedious. Vendor reagents are required in large quantities for most items, making crafting skills expensive to level. Virtually all crafted items require runes, which can only be obtained as drops from monsters and have a relatively low drop rate, which adds an unnecessary grind to the system. There are some high points though. Starting at level 30 you gain access to PvP battlegrounds, which gives you a nice change of pace from questing, but the real saving grace are the dungeons. At level 20 you gain access to your first dungeon, and a new one opens every 5 to 6 levels on average, and dungeons are just plain fun. The combat is fast and frantic, and the bosses are interesting and varied. As for the monetization of the game, all content is free to play without restriction, and the real money store does not sell gear, so there's no pay to win. There are a few limits on free players worth mentioning. You only get 2 character slots per server, you're capped at 10 daily quests per day, you can only have a maximum of 10 listings on the auction house at the same time, and you can only send a max of 10 gold through the mail per letter. TERA's real money store is mainly focused on various cosmetic items like costumes, accessories, vanity pets, and mounts. They also have your usual XP and reputation boosts on sale, as well as account upgrades like extra character slots and bank tabs. It's also worth mentioning that every item sold on the real money store is tradable, which means anything you could possibly want off the store can instead be obtained with in-game currency off the auction house or through direct trade with other players. My only complaint about TERA's monetization is that the smallest increment of store credits you can buy is $10 worth. Overall, TERA is a game with an engaging and fun combat system, but little else. An uninteresting and often disjointed storyline and dull repetitive quests drag down what could have been a great game. Dungeons and battlegrounds do break up the monotony a bit, but even these only go so far to keep things interesting until you reach the endgame. So my final verdict is that if you're bored of the standard point-and-click MMO and want to try something different, or if you're specifically looking for an action RPG MMO, then TERA is well worth your time to check out. However, if you're looking for a deep and compelling game, or one that simply has more going for it than its combat, then TERA is not for you. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below.